Hi everyone, so we just listened to Amy Cuddy, who is a social psychologist from this audio story, and I found interesting that she mentions that at least half of our communication is through nonverbal signals, and likewise, one of the videos that was posted for this module called The Secrets of Body Language, it was also mentioned that only 7% of communication is through words, 93% is nonverbal. And so for me, I work in a clinic, I work in healthcare, and one of the first things that I notice is like when I call a patient to room them, some patients, if I know them on a good level, they'll give me a hug or they'll give me a handshake. And so for the handshakes, the first thing I notice is the firmness of the handshake. I hate wimpy handshakes, and so I used to practice growing up giving myself really firm handshakes because I did not want to be the one giving them. And so just based on that, I found it funny on our reading, chapter 5, page 149, how Miller mentions that people with firm, full, long handshakes tend to be more extroverted and open to experience and less neurotic than people with wimpy handshakes. And so, obviously, people in my clinic, I tend to receive the handshakes from the males and then hugs from the females. And so, also on page 149, Miller mentions how the different types of touches have distinctly different meanings. And so, it's just funny how that's like one of our first line of communication is touch whenever I am seeing a patient. Also, likewise, when a patient comes in and they don't obviously they don't always give me a hug or a handshake, but I can tell just based on a patient's body language how they are. So if a patient comes in and they're sick, I can tell that they're sick and they're not feeling good because they tend to lay on our beds in a little ball and their face just tells me they're not okay. And then I have patients that come in for moods, and you can tell they're really nervous because they're talking really fast and they're fidgeting with their fingers and they're just not giving me eye contact. And another thing that was interesting was Amy's study in hormone changes and levels, and how she found that males tend to dominate classroom discussions and women are more likely to stay quiet, and how she made her class demonstrate or take part in, a 2 minutes worth of standing in a high power pose, also known as Wonder Woman versus Superman pose. And I found interesting that the outcome of it, how the hormone levels changed just based on saliva, how she was able to test that. And overall, how she found that linking people who have powerful roles or feel like they have strong leadership skills, they have high testosterone levels and low cortisol levels, and how you can just so easily manipulate that. And the outcome of like females being more confident just through that exercise. It was just cool to me how she was able to have just that short little exercise really shape them and show them that they can be confident. And also how one last thing that she mentioned, how this all ties it all together, is how she says your body changes your mind changes behavior, and your behavior changes outcomes.